Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality.
Hello, and welcome to Mzansi Reality. We are back again. This is one hell of a case. We are back here, sitting here. I hope that you are hearing us. Please press that like button as we are going to deliberate on this issue that we have in front of us. It is important to note that this is a court of public opinion.
Yeah, this is the court of a public opinion. Allegedly. We are trying our best, guys. This case is actually quite scary. It's revealing quite a lot of might I say corruption? Might I say injustices to people who don't have the means to get the justice that they deserve as citizens of this country. It's getting weird. With every court day, it's just getting weird and weird and weird. And today, for me, was one of the most overwhelming days I think we've ever encountered in this trial.
So perhaps we should start by saying that the court, the NPA has rendered this affidavit 375 as just a memorandum.
With no merit.
With no merits, they would put it like that. But Advocate Mshololo still wants to peruse such and then maybe advance on such. So this is the reason that might eventually put us to September or November.
Yeah.
But that being said, there is a lot that is taking place, such as the media and such as the people that are also indirect or directly involved.
Yes.
In this case, we're talking about the interview that happened with Vuma FM.
Yes.
I don't know if you could, if you have something prepared there to take us through.
Not really prepared. It's just some of the points that especially the sister of one of the accused was talking about. They really scared me. And the fact that all of this has been happening to her. In fact, I'm also very worried about her safety, some of the points that she raised.
So just to start from the beginning then, the first person of interest on that audio that we had is Patricia.
Patricia Mashel.
Patricia, it's
Yes,
Patricia.
yes.
Who met Advocate Mshololo, Advocate Defo,
Yes.
through the fact that they are all fighting for the same thing. So in that, he did have few things to say about case 375, about docket 375.
Yeah.
He said that was investigated by Lieutenant Colonel Butelis. And in comparison to 636, which was investigated by Constable.
Okay.
So in that, she was trying to submit that if the state is saying that it rendered this as a caucus that was just happening within the justice, in a sense, when they were dismissing this docket. Why would they say that it was investigated or it was actually just juniors there, in a sense? Because lieutenant is higher than constable, according to her. That was one submission that was very interesting, to say that it surprises her to say that such case then was presided by or was looked after by a junior advocate, because those are the grounds of dismissing such a document. And then he went further to say that this case is including, it might be corrupting some celebrities and then big politicians. He went as further as to say that they are closer to the hierarchy or at the top there. That is why this case is now taking this direction, because it is not only implicating the people who were in the house. That is according to her. Amen. So that then laid the foundation for the sister to come and say, now, he even went further to say that many people are failing psychometric test of the police.
Yes.
Because if they take this psychometric test, they take them honestly. Now, he went further to allude that that is not what justice wants. It doesn't want honesty, in a sense. It wants people who are disingenuous, as Advocate Devil put.
But if you are honest, according to Patricia, in those tests, you will find yourself failing them and not understanding why. And it also brings to her another allegation she had about in the SAPS, South Africans not really being hired.
So that means that people who are non-South Africans are getting that job. That is according to her. Now,
remember, this is a person who has worked there. She was a clerk. So she saw everything that was happening there. Okay, and she's the one of the very few that speak against the corruption that is happening in the SAPS.
Yes, and she says also that she's afraid of her life.
Yes,
she's not only doing that just on a
just
free,
for the fun of it. No,
doing it for the
she's
for the next generation.
Her life. She's risking her life.
Now, maybe you can talk to the sister then, because the sister followed just right after that.
Oh my God, what the sister said was very shocking to me. When she said that she's a sister to accused number 4 by the name of Mthokozisi, right?
Mthokozisi Maposa.
And the fact that they are kind of related, all of these suspects, to her. She's saying that she's the cousin of accused number 2 and the cousin of accused number 1 as well. She alluded that some of them were even married to her family. So
it's Mnube's uncle is married to her aunt.
To her aunt.
And then that is accused number 5, which Advocate Mshololo is standing for. And then accused number 1, which is Bia. This is the brother.
Yeah.
No. Bia is Bia calls her auntie. Calls the sister auntie. So these people are related, and there's only one person who's not related to this, but in a sense, due to demographics,
they grew up
together.
Area.
Tanzi comes from the same area. So not only did she raise that at some point they were allegedly bribed.
With 100,000.
The brother, Sbia, was allegedly bribed with an amount of 100,000, which he basically refuted and said, "We are rich at home. I don't need that." And then Tanzi, this is the person who confessed also. And Ntanzi was promised 3 million.
3 million.
And this is the person who confessed to doing all this.
Allegedly, under duress.
Under duress. She was forced to agree to this case. She was forced to agree.
And they said, the family said that they'd rather starve than have their child go to prison for a crime that they did not commit.
Now, interestingly enough, Emily, the name of Brigadier Ndlovu comes back again in this sister's vocabulary. In saying that the Brigadier Ndlovu was the one going and meeting the families of these people when they were doing all this process of bribery, allegedly. So, doesn't it feel like the passing of Ndlovu was very eminent and
coincidental?
Yes, and coincidental. Yeah, we would say it like that. But you look at these people; they are all calling for his name. So this is a person of interest, and not just a person of interest. Now, to look at the fact that we were told that Brigadier Ndlovu was not on the list of people that were going to be cross-examined by the MPA. Does that now sound like a story that you have heard? Because not only that, we have heard currently that also the some of the people who were in the house were not going to be cross-examined, isn't it?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
So it surprises us, and there is common thing about this case and therefore, seemingly therefore has been fighting the justice in a sense of fighting injustice that it
Patricia
might be
mentioned
happening
it with the
to SAPS. Now that is how this case then ended in the hands of Advocate Defo.
Barry, he used to fight for the police that were not dismissed, that were dismissed improperly. Like the process of dismissal was not followed with them. They were wrongfully fired and accused. So he actually won those cases according to Patricia. But when it came to reinstating those cops back into their jobs, they didn't. It didn't happen. It's not happening. He's still fighting it.
And now there is another thing that you guys need to know. Mtogozis from the documentary allegedly was taken for questioning by Buthelezi and
Isn't there no mention of Gininda
Buthelezi and Makubo.
or Makubu?
Yes. And then Mtogozis came back from that and filed a case of kidnap.
He
So
was wrongfully taken.
kidnapped. That is the case. That is how exaggerated this case was. The sister was surprised to say that how can a person who's taken for questioning by two investigators now come back and file for being kidnapped? It is one of those things that we need to go through
And the
to
fact
see
that-
how complicated this case is.
It's very complicated, guys. And the fact that they were tortured, allegedly. They were tortured and they were forced to write confessions admitting that they did this. Allegedly.
Now, we are going to deliberate now on the case itself. Before, we wanted to also try to embed the noise that is outside because of this case.
Yeah.
And you need now to understand how difficult this case might be to everyone else who's actually involved in it directly or indirectly so.
And I'm going to start with this letter. I got a bit of a copy here and 3 points that I'm seeing. I'm going to read it a bit. It clarity sought regarding purported correspondence from DPP South Gauteng in the murder trial of Mr. Senzo Meyiwa as per Foslera's case 636 20114. Now I got this from Twitter, guys. It's one of the letters that Mshololo put as evidence to kind of like excuse that other docket. So number one, they say it was dated 10th of June. And number two, it says this office did not make any decision or otherwise regarding the case docket. Number three, it says the alleged documents do not have any status as such, was in internal opinion from a junior state advocate, which was without merit.
Now, this is
And it was signed by M.A. Chauke, Director of Public Prosecutions, Gauteng Local Division, Johannesburg, on the 10th of June 2022.
This is the letter that was later amended in a
Yes.
sense. Well, the court was proceeding.
Yes.
It was amended with certain things, but then it still maintained the content of what it represented. This is what we have to go through.
It scared me. This letter in itself scared me, and it's the center of all of this chaos that is currently happening. But let's start with what happened throughout the day. The first statement that was made by the media publications today, I'm taking this from Sowetan Live. Judge crosses swords with T4 over procedure. And now they say, Advocate Malisela T4, if you're not going to talk about the date, sit down. These were some of the words that Judge was using against Advocate T4 today. That is how Judge Chipiwa Maumela had to stamp his authority after several heated exchanges with T4, who is representing 4 of the 5 men accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa. On Monday, the court was supposed to get feedback from Advocate Zandile Mshololo on the second docket open happened on the Meyiwa murder case, which she received on the 8th of June. The docket indicates that singer Kelly Khumalo is the one who fired the shot that killed Meyiwa. After Mshololo read the two letters from the Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Andrew Chauke, Defo came after the tea adjournment, wanting to address the court. Defo took off on a lighter note as he thanked Maumela for recognizing him, but Maumela immediately became firm. You always sit behind that box and you go low. I always presume you are there until one day we were proceeding and you walked in. From the beginning of this trial, you hide behind that box. I don't know why you do that, Maumela said, leaving the public gallery in stitches. Defo asked to make a submission in relation to the documents that Mshololo had read in court, and Maumela said his timing was wrong as he was repeating what the court had already heard. Now, at this moment, Defo was raising the arguments against these letters that Advocate Mshololo presented to the court today from the DPPP office.
Now, this is very interesting, Emily, because when I was watching it, this is when Mshololo was still on a practice mode. I would say he was just relaxed and just going by the day. You know, Mshololo would confuse the hell out of you first time, and then you get to understand later. But what I saw today of Advocate Mshololo,
Yeah.
I mean, therefore, that was something else, because he started very nice. You could swear, you know, when the way he goes about it, it was like, this guy is just here to make some noise. Next thing, from gear 1, we saw gear 5 or 6 if it's 6 forward.
You will be given an opportunity to address the court before the state responds. If I now jump without hearing fully what Advocate Mshololo is saying, I can be confused as well, Maumela said. But Defo did not heed the advice and argued that he should be heard first before Mshololo concludes her submissions.
Isn't this the reason why we are here today?
Yeah.
As much as the manner in which Mshololo, Advocate, therefore comes with most of the time when the case is proceeding, you would say, hey, but Mshololo, also you're out of line. But the things that Mshololo always mention on that noise, when there's too much noise and the blood is pumping fast, it sort of gets lost somewhere. He did mention the second docket.
From the beginning.
And it was when the state of court was at that level of the blood moving fast. And now all of a sudden, we are here stopped by the very same docket that he's been making mention of all the time.
From
when
the very beginning.
When the court was kind of, I would say, aggressive towards him.
Yes. Those first few court days when the judge was just not having it, Defo would get up and he'd be scolded like a child. You know, I remember, and I was like, what is going on? He was still mentioning the docket and it flew over everyone's heads. Like
no one was willing to listen.
Wow.
No one was willing to listen. And even today, I will tell you, there are a lot of things that could have been avoided should have therefore been given, because you need also I would put it, it's not a law, but you need to understand the behavior of certain people. When you have maybe let's say you are a teacher, you have kids in a class. There are those kids who follow the rules by the bullet. They go straight forward,
disciplined,
but it does not necessarily make them smart.
Yeah.
Now, people who do not have order, normally they tend to be smart.
That is so true. They are naturally intelligent.
Yes. So you realize that as the proceedings go on, that actually this guy is coming out with a lot of facts now. So learn to understand the manner that this man is coming with. Not to say that this man is undermining the court. I wouldn't say that the man is undermining. This is therefore I've learned to understand that therefore is one of those people who think out loud.
Oh, think
Do you,
out loud.
do you understand? And then you will find himself calling him my lord while thinking, because everything comes when he's sitting down.
True.
So give
and I
him
don't
a
think
chance.
he's much of a writer, because the judge was pretty much expecting him to jot down everything and everything and everything. When it's his turn to speak, then he must speak whatever he had written down. But it's clear that Tifo likes to strike while the iron is still hot.
Exactly. Because there you have different arguments. You see, when you have to structure your own argument, and maybe I'm biased to this because I fall to that category. I don't study in a certain way. When I study, I find a way of studying basically. So I find a coping mechanism. So that's what Tifo is doing. What I can ask you now, as we speak, it will be totally different from, in fact, in a manner that I would even deliver it. It will be different if I have to wait for you to finish and exhaust everything, and then later and then address you.
I remember because people were like, oh, stop interrupting while she speaks. Okay, it is what it is, guys. This is a conversation. This is some people are like this. Even I am like that, okay? I sometimes I feel like I should strike while you are still on that point so that I don't lose my train of thought.
And even the manner that I will strike, and it will be totally different if I have to go and think about it first and listen for you to finish. I'm itching here. Maybe there is a space for the court to be amended for that, for such, because I think the court, when it was created, generally it was created for people who are normal. What about people who have autism?
Or ADHD.
Aren't they supposed to practice? Because those people, they have a different way of doing things.
And their level of intelligence might be just what we require right now in this current chaos that you have.
That is what
in
I'm
the
trying
courts.
to. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And I said I will be biased because I'm one of those people who have suffered from that. But so I cannot have someone disturb that process, because also I'm like that as a person who I need to strike when
So
the iron is hot.
the lawyers are getting in on it, and they're like, no, such conduct is not supposed to be happening in a court of law.
This is the
where
problem
a
I
judge
have.
versus an advocate, and it's head to head like that.
This is the problem I have. We have in South Africa, we have appliers. We do not have people who question. That is why we're still using the Roman Dutch law even today. Because people go to school to apply Roman Dutch law. So people like Bobo Mcebo Dlamini, they don't have a space in a court of law because they are not appliers. They are the changers of the game. They create the changes. Even in mathematics, there are people who find these formulas. For those, that's why all the day there was standard grade and higher grade. For those who cannot be able to find new things and apply then what has been made.
Standard grades.
So for us, then we don't have a space people who studied higher grade. It's like, these ones are, because I don't like applying. So if you look at my paper when I was solving most of my questions in mathematics, it's mostly through taking the formula and deriving the formula.
So you are one of those who derive the formula first and then
Yes.
solve
So when you mark my paper,
they never get it wrong, those ones.
You expect me to have 7 steps.
Yeah.
I would have 4. And if you crammed that this is how it should go, this person should have 7 steps, you will struggle to give me 2 marks where you're supposed to give me 2 marks. You will give me 1, only to find that the whole thing is correct.
All right.
So why don't we have a space for that? We study. What is the purpose of studying? the behavior of people? What is the purpose of even diagnosing people as autistic and if we are not going to tolerate such people? I'm not saying that Advocate Defo is
No, of course
but
not.
I'm just saying that there must
But
be
he's
room.
opening the conversation around to people who are unique. And as well, I saw some of the articles are pointing it to language. I don't think it's a language thing. I
What
don't.
language? They are talking about English. They
They're
are talking
saying
about
maybe he
English.
should express himself in his native language. Can the courts provide for that?
How can you say someone must do that when you are failing to change the system from the varsity? We have requested that we study
Our
using
modules
our own language.
in our own languages.
But it has been a fight that has been fruitless. How are we supposed now to all of a sudden take the whole book of law and interpret it in our own language?
And to think that in matric, our teachers would explain mathematics in our language, and some of us got distinctions. But come varsity, now you have to adapt to listening to a professor with a funny accent speaking English.
Some people, they fail not because they cannot think fast. The problem is that they still have to comprehend
Yes,
this
and
language that is
translate.
foreign and translate it to their own language. And this is what is happening.
True.
So maybe this case then is showing them that not only these people are maybe dumb, they just need to be taught in their language, and we should allow for that. And what is the point of me going there to address you in English, and you get those lawyers who are from West
Yes.
excelling, not because they are good in
It's their
putting their
native
efforts in, because it's their native language. They can always freestyle with it.
And even how the judge was kind of condescending and trying to correct some of the terms, as if like, I was like, oh my God,
This is
this even necessary?
This is the problem I have with South Africans. We are just consumers.
As long as you understand what he's trying to say, why are you now like correcting him like he's in preschool and trying to embarrass him?
No, it looks like the main thing is to derail wherever that therefore was going. Because now
Go
when you start
left.
correcting, I get that a lot
I was
from
bothered. I was very bothered by that. I'm like, you can clearly understand what he's trying to say, but you are saying the opposite of what he's trying to say
you are putting
purpose.
two words so that you look smarter.
And then he has to take a moment to process what he wants to actually say and then say it like that. And then it seems like he's being disrespectful. Yabona ke manje. Yabona ke manje,
I don't
guys.
find him disrespectful. I find him frustrated by the hindrances that are there in this court of law.
But the
That
judge
when-
is interpreting that as disrespect towards the court.
How many years do you need for you to be a judge?
I don't know.
Because it took you many years to practice what now you are using to correct people.
Yeah,
You-
it's
not-
quite a journey.
I understand the correction of the law itself.
Yes.
But the correction of the language
English.
is another thing. That's why he called them the fanatics of English. Because they use that to sort of derail and
Yeah.
disturb his train of thinking.
Yeah, he was throwing shade, didn't he?
Let us
Okay,
continue.
the problem I have is that when Advocate Defo thinks it is time for him to speak, it must happen. The other day I had to warn you when you were demanding that the court should go a particular direction. I'm saying now, as the presiding officer in this case, it is time to give Advocate Mshololo the opportunity to proceed with what she started in your absence.
Now-
She's not done.
Now,
Maumela
if
said.
this judge is really concentrating when Defo is talking, why did it take this long to stop this case? Because everything that Mshololo mentioned in the form of this docket and everything that Mshololo wanted, it was already presented by Defo. Now, why did it take long to see this? Why is it that they only see it if someone who speaks this English that they want, now it's taken serious? It's something that now therefore has to be affected by. When he mentioned it previously in his defense, it was like, you are thumb sucking. Now all of a sudden it has become the reality of this case, and in fact the gist of this case now, because we are almost on pause because of what Defo said long time ago, 20 something, was it 22nd of April or so?
22nd of April. This is when this trial started, and therefore kept bringing it up, and they were busy dismissing him. Even with this explanation, Defo did not want to stop with his request, and he argued that the documents before court were defective. He was arguing about those two letters, Advocate Defo, today, that they were defective.
And he was told to sit down.
And he was told to sit down many a times. Okay, and what is coming up next is the issue of this docket that is accusing Kelly Khumalo being rendered without merit, right?
Yeah.
The second docket, which accuses Kelly Khumalo and those who were in the house where Senzo Meyiwa was killed, was nothing but an internal opinion. Okay, this was revealed in a response from the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP South Gauteng, Advocate Andrew Chauke, which defense advocate Zandile Mshololo read out in the Pretoria High Court. This office did not make any decision or otherwise regarding the case docket. The alleged document does not have any status as such, was in internal opinion from junior advocate, which was without merit, Mshololo said regarding the DPP's response. Baloyi told the court that the state became aware of the second docket in January this year. I wrote a letter on 23rd of March.
So that is when Baloyi was debating the issues of awareness and the issues of being furnished with such a document. Now, being furnished obviously is basically being given that document. It surprises me again that he went on to argue that this was furnished in front of him by Buthelezi. In front of him. He was there. But only today, now, it's all of a sudden, this Buthelezi was kind of refusing. Now, the question that I wanted to ask when he mentioned that, why didn't they subpoena then the document to get it in time? Because this document, according to him, it was furnished on the 28th of March, while he wanted it on the 30th of March. Why didn't he take this document on board just like that with Defo? Because he was there. He's admitting that I was with Defo when this happened.
Why?
It's crazy, man. It's beyond me. I cannot think beyond this, because I might end up be saying wrong things.
Wrong things that are out of line. I wrote a letter on the 23rd of March 2022 directed to the investigating officer, Lieutenant Colonel Buthelezi, requesting a copy of the docket so that it could be disclosed to the defense. I gave the deadline of the end of March 2022 to submit the docket. Before the end of March, Buthelezi came to my office with Advocate Defo, and instead of handing the docket to us, it was only handed over to Advocate.
Oh, so then you keep quiet. You're like, yeah, let me keep quiet. Yeah, let me keep quiet so that I can submit that to court.
I am so sorry that, in my opinion, I find it difficult to believe this. I find it very difficult.
Now, the problem is that in court, it's a matter of what you say, I say this, you say that. Now, as a judge, sitting judge, I would have asked. Now, when that was happening, in your thinking as a person who needs to prepare for this case and make sure that everyone has a document in front of them, what did you do?
But
this is where the judge is found. This is where the judge is found wondering. Now, you are supposed to ask that question. That you did see this happening in front of you. And you were aware of this document being needed by people at the court. Now, what is this amnesia that you happened to had at the time when this was happening, and you were celebrated that therefore got the document? I don't have it, it's okay. So as Mshololo is not going to have it because I don't have it, it's all right. I will wait for the situation to unfold itself. Then I will start deliberating on it.
Balance me.
Now, to even be given a chance then to address the court about what happened in front of you that you should have taken control of. it is just amazing how it was massaged
Wow.
out of the prosecutor.
Wow.
It was just amazing.
It's amazing. It's shocking. It's wow.
Can you imagine if only Tifo didn't have this document? The table would turn.
The table would have turned. I don't think even Tifo would have known about it if they had it.
This is just obviously the public opinion, guys.
It's an opinion.
We must raise
These questions.
these questions, and if we are flabbergasted, we are flabbergasted.
We are
And
flabbergasted.
we obviously have the right because we do not practice any law.
We don't.
We are not breaking any law because we don't practice any law. This is a public opinions law.
Yes.
And you come here, whether you are a judge or you are an advocate, we would ask you that question. I would have asked you that question.
Yes.
As to say, but then when you say that unfolding, then what did you do, Advocate Baloyi?
Baloyi, what did you do?
Did you let the court know? Did you subpoena the document?
Baloyi said that even the investigating team in the docket that is before the court does not have a copy of it. This second docket has become central as the defense has used its content to discredit Musia's testimony. Mshololo said the failure of the state to disclose it violated her client's constitutional right to have all the information required to prepare for trial. The state had the duty to disclose this docket. The state could have sought for an order in this court compelling the SAPS to deliver such docket. What makes it worse?
There is a problem. Because they went to pre-trial. Before the original trial, we obviously have to start with the pre-trial, right? And this is where then we determine and make sure that the court is in order. Everything that is needed in that court of law is really there. This now goes to a judge because what did you say when Mshololo presented all these documents that were more than the others? This is showing. I don't know whether I'm asking right questions. Those who study law, they will tell me because I'm not a fan of applying. Yeah, I need to also use logic. It surprises me that when we study, we tend to be zombies of some note.
Oh my God! What makes it worse? The state allowed my client to plead without giving me the second docket, and that amounts to a miscarriage of justice.
Listen to that. Wait to that. 22nd, Mshololo was made aware of this document. 22nd.
Yes.
Of what? April. Was made aware of this docket.
But she's denying it. She says she didn't know about it.
So she's saying that she was not listening. We need to determine most. I could be wrong, obviously. I'm not a lawyer myself. I do not understand the games that are being played here. And obviously, I want to see the end of this case. So my aim is to see the end. I would do the right thing. I would make sure that if I was Advocate Baloyi, I would make sure that I get that docket 375. And I will have copies of that docket 375 given to my other advocate, so that the case can be exhausted timeously.
Yes.
We save the state's fund.
And time.
Why should I use it as some sort of... I know that they always use certain things for their own benefit, which brings the issue of the application of this time to get time, which brings the issue of that, where the state is agreeing with Advocate Mshololo. Now, I might be asking wrong questions at wrong times, but first I would like to know who's paying for Advocate Mshololo's fees.
I don't know.
I'm saying that we might see the fight on the interface, but seemingly there's a lot of agreement when it comes to certain things. The state is even happy to give Mshololo up to November.
November. Yo, and I was busy racking my head. Why November? Why September? Why so far? Like, why?
This is very, knowing the sensitivity of this case, how sensitive this case is, knowing that
People's lives are at risk.
I'm not gonna put that on this platform saying put people's life. I want to say
Allegedly.
it into a right way.
Okay.
I want to say that we know that there are other unforeseen circumstances where God decides to call people when they have to testify or when their names are gonna be the subject of the case. Now, knowing that, I'm hoping that now I said it correctly in a manner that is very diplomatic.
Yes.
Knowing that, why would you want to prolong this case?
That doesn't make sense to me. Let me continue. The docket in question, case 375, alleged that Khumalo accidentally shot the soccer star. Okay, we've been through that. Let me read this. This is important. 26th of October, at her family home in Vosloorus, east of Joburg, with a revolver allegedly brought into the house by Longe Twala, the son of the music icon Chico Twala. This also reminds me of something I heard in the interview with Boma.
Pause right there. Let us get these comments because now I want to catch some breath.
Right.
Let us bring, because you see, one thing that I've realized is that when the blood is pumping,
It's hot.
You might end up getting emotional.
I am becoming emotional, guys.
So
I am.
let us have some laughter here with these comments.
Okay. Sitabisile Matebula, Zandi's recent post on IG, please check.
Okay.
Okay, I went over and I checked and I saw, the post that caught my attention, guys, I don't know if I'm wrong, but is that of Advocate Mshololo. Zandi Khumalo posted a picture of Advocate Mshololo over here on her Instagram. And this is what she says. KwaZulu, oh Lord, my bizo is so beautiful. Sengathi ucula ikhwela la. And this is the picture.
So, okay.
So I don't know what it has to do with anything, and I can see that she disabled the comments. I don't know what she's trying to say.
Why would she do that?
I don't understand.
Why would you post Mshololo? Why?
I don't understand. Someone please call in and then let me know what's going on here. I don't understand. Is this a message?
Now these are the people that need to get us close to the case. People who are enjoying the drama that is happening about this case. These are the people that needs to take us into confidence, into saying that whatever that they'll be saying is really indeed what happened in the house. But yet you are doing such.
Why?
Not unless, of course, you know that you I don't know.
This is a wild goose chase, allegedly.
It's disturbing.
Xoleka Mkhwanqana sanibona ekhaya. Oscar says, welcome guys, says Corner, my favorite channel. Hi everybody, thank you. Diana Koza Sitabisile, I saw the post as well, but now she switched off comments. Mtandazo says, what's her handle on IG? Zandile Khumalo Gumete, Mtandazo slang. Okay. This was a conversation that did not need us. Lindiwe, evening family. Hi, kunzima kubuhlungu kule case kunzima Lindiwe kunzima. Thomas Lucas says, hi guys, hope I'm not late. No, you were not. According to when you commented, you were not at all. And then Thomas says, Emily, Professor Anonymous. You're a professor now. Oscar Kumete, please don't cry, Emily. I see tears on your face. Oh my God, I am emotional. But no, don't worry. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to hold myself, okay? I'm very emotional. Today was just, it was a lot. Tiani Koza, this seems like a rabbit hole that leads nowhere. My biggest irritation is that no one will be brought to book for the death of Senzo. Oh, yini bao. Buimguni, we Oscar nami nyabonga ulimele emoyeni. Mpumi also says, you Sanbon, I'm so heartbroken myself, Shem. Sitabsile says, what is stopping or who is stopping the 7 people from being questioned in court?
No,
That is a question.
now what is stopping that, Sitabi, just to answer you, it's that what was regarded as a docket that was supposed to mandate such now is rendered memorandum. That then meaning that it's impossible then to go further and get these people who were in their house and to answering. We know that one was taken for questioning. He came back to sue for kidnapping. Now, such things are things that are showing that maybe people are so comfortable. It's very hard for you to actually now go further than that.
It is. It is.
This case by itself, just having two dockets is one way of saying that, giving this whole case the middle finger, basically. Because now, how are you going to persecute on two dockets that one has been rendered? For Advocate Mshololo to say that I still need to peruse this
Disturbing. Ne?
while knowing that it's rendered a memo. Rendered of no. The only reason why therefore would be of interest to 375 is because he was given that chance of listen and brief. There's always out of 100, there's always 40 or even less than that are really fighting for the truth, and there's always those who might be fighting for whatever goals that they're looking for. But let us continue.
And then Tandazo says, for me, the judge is somehow biased, especially towards my king advocate, therefore, especially today, he was against him all the way. Hubert Mapumula says, good evening, everyone. Mpume Mingi. I don't know. They're going to say they can't just put them for instigation, but how did they put the others who are in now?
Let us get a caller. Let us get a call. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to Mzansi Reality.
You came with a bass today, Oscar. Is it Oscar? Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you sound defeated.
Yeah, I give up.
It's too early for us to give up. Come on.
To me, they can send whoever they want. They can sentence whoever they want. It's fine.
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
This Mushololo lady is like, she's been, I think she's part of the syndicate.
You think so? That would be, yeah. No, it's a very sensitive issue, that one. But look, let us wait for it to unfold. Tomorrow is still a chance. My hope is in tomorrow. And then, look, if for me, I think where I would start feeling defeated even more is if they postpone it to September or November. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now look, they imagine questioning. You can say Tifo man, I just call guys. It's fine, but we didn't marry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
So now we like say level and level one.
You are defeated, Oscar. You are done. I feel the same way. I feel like you.
Rega data but fela DSTV re tlo tella ke mokhalabe o la wa diteru a wa sa ka memororo. That old guy, that judge ne, but wow, is very disrespectful to South Africa.
Yeah. I feel you.
He's saying he's following the law, he's following the procedure, and
No, it's interfering with the proceedings here in herself.
No,
You can't be questioning each and everything. Let in chief that you comment.
How?
Let the wheels grind. Let the wheels grind.
You know where he got me when he said I'm not of interest, but then he went on, I'm not gonna be advising, and then he went on to advise. I was like,
And You know what's the problem? He's drinking vodka in that cup.
He addressed that. He addressed those things. He said he's drinking.
Yeah, because the reason that he was addressing that is because now he knew that some of our
Yes.
Are you load
so
shaded,
we
Oscar?
already know that it cannot be so.
Yeah.
We are getting a caller, Oscar. We're gonna have to catch you.
Oh, Kimpo, sharp.
Oh, push up. Wait, thank you,
Hello.
man.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it, man?
We are good, and you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Shoot.
I'm starting losing hope now.
Hey, all of you guys, we sound the same today. Hey, we are feeling defeated and hopeless.
Yeah, but if you look today,
Yeah.
the judge was against death.
You therefore felt that way also.
Yeah, so I don't think serious. Mishololo is a joke, serious.
Hi,
Sorry,
Mishololo is a joke.
You are saying that's why Zandil is celebrating with her picture.
Yeah, because if you can notice the judge, there's no longer about law, but just taking instruction from the from the hiding. There's something that he knows, but now he's trying to. You can't postpone for November.
Patong. As that made my heart like feel weird. Like I was like, what? September?
September.
November?
You know what I'm thinking? There's a two docket. So if they postpone till November,
Yes.
they just want to cook something. They just want to cook something because if you see the Meyiwa case, it involves many people. Many people. And there are people that are going to be arrested if the judge is on an open side. But now, if today I'm telling you, I like what? Therefore, not therefore. Just sit down, and he doesn't talk like he wants to hear therefore. He's fighting with death. So I'm losing hope. Postponing will cause problem. I'm telling you.
Ish.
Yeah, that's my feeling. I felt like that also. I felt like if you postpone it, what is going to disappear? What might happen? What if
The
God
witnesses
decides to
to
call
Tobago.
one of the witnesses and all that? There's a lot of things that we obviously are crying off.
And sorry, before you continue, I was watching clip of Kelly last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was afraid, but yesterday clip, she's not afraid. Yeah, because she knows, guys, this thing, choop, just name something a word that smash. But they take love from him. So Kelly is still performing, getting gigs, while there's a case that is against it. So this thing, guys, I'm losing hope.
Yeah.
I'm losing hope.
Yeah, there's a bit of that also. It drains us now. We are feeling it. Yeah,
honestly feeling it.
Thank you, man. Let us give another caller a chance.
Thanks, guys. Let's watch from tomorrow. Thanks, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, guys, you can call. If you're lucky, you come in first because I see there are many people who are trying to call in. You can call in now. We get one. Hello. Hello.
Let's watch from tomorrow. Thanks. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
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 Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Yes,
We are
we're
good,
good.
and you?
Hey, I'm okay, man, but I'm not okay. I'm like everyone, man. Yeah, but I so wish if therefore listens to this channel, and also maybe someone close to him is listening. I think he can get a bit of encouragement from this channel. Because now I believe the reason why they are doing this to him, it is because they're realizing that he has too much information, and if they were to allow him a chance to speak, it's going to destroy this case. Even today, you realize why the whole morning I was watching, they refused him to speak up until the time when he get a chance. Everyone was shocked. From what he had said. I think what they are doing is to make it difficult for him to speak. Because therefore he invested a lot of time in this case. This Msholozi person, he's just wasting our time. You can't postpone the case to November. Come on, guys. People are dying every day.
It seems as if she might be able to get her way, though. We are just waiting for tomorrow, and I think the victory for me, for now, it would be to see those who were outside getting out.
Yes,
that would be a bit of victory.
On bail.
Yeah, that would be a bit of victory, because other than that, then that means we would have lost everything.
And he's not understanding, therefore. Even his argument today, I'm sensing that, therefore, you want them not to discuss this case so that they can bring in an application for a trial within a trial. But then you still want to interrogate this poor guy and continue lying for another 3 weeks. What are we going to get from Musia? Nothing. We'll continue lying for another 3 weeks and nothing will happen to him. And I was so disappointed about it in the manner in which today they dealt with, therefore. Because in the morning, they denied him a chance to speak. And they went as far as telling to that, I don't know if you were listening to this other party that disturbed me the most, when they say, tell your friend to sit down and shut up. Do you call a judge? Did you call an advocate and say, tell your friend to sit down? That one disturbed me. I don't know if you observed that one.
I did. It was. The only victory was later in the afternoon when Defo got that chance, because we know when Defo speaks, and and one thing that I've realized about him, when they do all those things and they happen to him, I always get excited, because once he gets a chance, he's gonna kill it.
Yes, and the other thing that I didn't understand in the morning, the 2 letters were brought to the table.
Yes.
I understand that it's Mshololo who said last week she need time to read the document, and she also wanted the state to tell why they're bringing this document. Yes, it's fine, we understand that party. Then 2 letters were brought in the morning. She had time to talk about those 2 letters. Advocate Baloyi also had to talk about the letters. When they first stand up to talk about the letters, that is not your time. Come on. Because this case is for who and who?
Yeah,
very
good
question.
Yeah, no, man. It's still a long way. Let's give another caller a chance in case.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can call, guys. You can call. We'll give you a chance. We'll give you a platform. This is your platform. Here we obviously engage each other. I mean, we are not allowed to speak in court. But here, you are allowed. This is a court of public opinion.
Public opinion.
Okay,
nobody's calling in. Let me continue with the comments.
Maybe continue and okay. Hello.
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 Hello. Welcome to Mzansi Reality.
Hello. Can you hear us? Are we audible?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Hello.
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 Can you hear us, caller?
No, the thing is, I've got one phone.
Yeah.
Just shoot.
Oh, okay. Let me shoot.
Yeah.
Good evening, good people.
Yes.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can
definitely
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay. One thing I like about Advocate Tipo, it's his sense of humor. And if people are not careful, he's going to go down with many people because they treat him like a joke. And one thing that I also wanted to mention was that this judge seems like he's been captured. I don't know. That's how I see it anyway. And the other thing that I liked about Tipo was when he said, "I hope a witness does not go forever and never be a witness again." That one really killed me because I could understand where he was going, and I think this guy has got this case. He has got this case. It's just that some things are not in his favor, and I believe you when you said some people might have some what did you call it?
It's autism and
this condition. What do you call it? What do you call it?
ADHD and autism.
Where children, cannot be normal. I forgotten the word, but I know the word, and I always go through that and to learn autism.
Yes,
That's the way.
Yes, that's the way.
So if we are not careful, Tifo is going to win this case. I'm telling you, he's going to win it. I don't want to lose hope. I do not want to lose hope. As long as we have Tifo there, I just hope they don't get rid of him somehow. But as long as we have him, let's have hope. Let us support him. Let us with our prayers and everything else. And in the meantime, keep Senzo Meyiwa's memory alive.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, Emily, let's just summarize very quickly and then maybe just open the lines forever.
Well, should we go to that article on News 24 that talks about Advocate Defo?
Yes.
And to try and understand what exactly was he talking about in court today, and let us unravel it with Mr. Anonymous, okay? The article here says, Senzo Meyiwa, Defo switches gear, claims case being heard in wrong court, challenges jurisdiction. Oh my God, I got tongue-tied with that word, but it's fine. In opposing a postponement in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, Advocate Malisela Defo has now claimed that the wrong court is hearing the trial, challenging the jurisdiction and further claiming 2 of the accused were arrested and detained unlawfully. Advocate Zandile Mshololo, who represents one of the accused, asked for a postponement in the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria on Monday. The need for postponement arose after she was handed a copy of the second docket pertaining to the matter of the former Bafana Bafana goalkeeper. News 24 previously reported that there were 2 dockets investigated which came to different findings and suspects. The first docket is the case currently before the court, while the second lists Meyiwa's girlfriend Kelly Kumalo and others as the people responsible for his murder. Defo, who represents 4 of the accused, vehemently opposed the postponement. Defo started his argument by delivering a tirade against the court, accusing Judge Shipiwa Maumela of excluding defense counsel from proceedings and being disrespectful towards him. He further claimed that his client's rights were being deliberately violated, which would lead to the collapse of the decorum of the court. The main thrust of Defo's argument was that the High Court in Pretoria did not have the jurisdiction to hear the trial, and as a result, did not have the power to postpone the matter, Defo said.
So in his argument, is basically saying that should they be sitting where they are sitting and arguing about 636, not arguing about the 375. This 375 that now has led to postponement of the case of 636, which is very disturbing on its own. Now is basically saying that if then there are no basis for some of his clients who were free before this case, then just release them. Let them go. Because
home. I even heard him. Let them
until
go
such
home.
time where you need them, then they will come back here. Maybe let us have a bail hearing, because this is infringing on their rights. And you also took them into custody. You for 24 hours. They were detained beyond 48 hours.
48 hours.
And then that on its own then amounted into sort of an arrest. So therefore, there were a lot of things that were not done correctly. And it's been preaching about this since from the beginning, I remember.
From the very beginning.
To say that there were a lot of things that were not done correctly. He might have preached one of these arguments at the end from the beginning, got excited, started the case, but the order of things was not followed in the way he was supposed to argue, because according to me, maybe he was supposed to just put that from the word go and argue on those bases. But in this case, they are not arguing, they are giving someone to cross-examine. Maybe that's why therefore keeps on hinting on some of these things, because he knows that it's not a right platform to actually now start arguing our case.
Yes.
And he basically would take anything that would just release his accused,
Yes.
people who
His
are accused, his clients.
True.
So it is very hard for him to deal with this. But then you get, on the other hand, one defendant who's saying that I'm willing to take it up until September or November, Your Lordship. This is the problem for therefore, because there are people who could be home as we speak.
This court does not have the jurisdiction to entertain this case. Therefore, then asserted that the procedures were grossly violated, as only the Minister of Justice could transfer the matter from one jurisdiction to another, but that it was the National Director of Public Prosecutions and DPP who decided that the trial be held in Pretoria as opposed to Johannesburg. Therefore, then alerted the court that he would bring a review application or appeal if the court granted the application. Moving back to his arguments, therefore focused on a document by the National Director of Public Prosecution, Shamila Batohi, in which she corresponded her decision to have the matter transferred. He noted that the document was dated on a Sunday and questioned how Batohi could have been working when she was supposed to be at home with her children. Therefore, then raised a different argument, claiming that two of the accused were not brought to court within 48 hours of their arrest, meaning that their arrest and continued detention was unlawful. It is found that this court does not have jurisdiction. We will consider that our clients were kidnapped and tried illegally in this court, he said. He further claimed that this meant that the accused were being detained without trial until they were asked to plead to the charges in April. The accused were arrested in 2020. Following the first submissions, Maumela requested that heads of argument be drafted by defense counsels in the state so that he could make a ruling. Maumela said he could not yet make a ruling as the first presentation was not clear, which is why he requested heads of argument.
It is very clear from where we sit, also from our side. Please press the subscribe button. I just remembered, and like.
Oh yes,
button.
please guys subscribe and like the video.
It is very clear, though, however, that we have been invested into this case. That it is very clear that it only matters when the two, which is Baloyi and Mshololo, is involved. But anything else, which is a huge amount of people in comparison to one accused, 4 out of 1, which are court-dependent. And we cannot also ignore that he also submitted that this docket might be the similar docket or the same docket that persecuted the first guy who was arrested.
The one was washing Senzo's car.
Which is also basically not advisable when you are practicing law to do that.
The one who Kelikumalo's mother identified. Okay.
So let us call this person. There's one person who called us. We're going to call them back because they called through WhatsApp. It's exhausting we forgot. Please press that subscribe, guys.
And like
this is what
the
we do
video
here.
if you like
the
this
video.
type of
If
commentary.
you like the type of commentary that we give you, we even bite our tongues and saying that when we have to pronounce jurisdiction.
Hey, jurisdiction.
Okay, the person is nowhere to be found. We've tried. You guys can have calls. You can have calls coming through. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
we missed you. This is Mzansi.
Thank you. Thank you for calling back.
Yes.
I wanted to raise a point where it was last week, I think.
Yes.
And no, I think it was last week where Mr. Nell was interviewed by the anchor guys. And I think there was something he said. He said, he was asked that what he thinks about those guys that were arrested.
Yes.
Are they guilty or what?
Yes.
He said confidently they are guilty, and there is more to that, that confused me a lot.
No, you shouldn't have been confused, my good sir. I'm sorry to interject. Because from the word go, when this is when Nell lost me. Nell lost me when he said that he's more talking to Ginindi than Buthelezi. This is where I lost Nell. I lost Nell from there. In the documentary, he's got more conversation with Ginindi. The state is cooperative and all that. Through Ginindi, who was working with Buthelezi. All of a sudden, Buthelezi is no more. It's sidelined. That is where I was like, okay, I'm done with Nell.
Don't listen to Nell for now. He will confuse you.
Let us give Nell his listening and brief. That's it. He listens and he briefs. That's it.
And on the previous live, we did actually go deep into this Nell situation regarding the fact that he's not even supposed to be sitting or having this dialect.
That's what
in
Defo
the
said. His job is done.
His job is done.
Well, do you have any more points?
No, that was it.
Hi, Puma Guherinel.
Puma Guherinel, thank you, man.
Yeah, that guy is confusing us.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, you can call. You still have a bit of time. You can call.
Let me continue and close it and wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it
so
up.
that we're done. While the state will respond to Defoe's arguments through heads of argument, the state had previously said that Defoe had indicated that there was no objection to the transfer of
jurisdiction. Yes.
This was contained in replying papers responding to issues previously raised by the defense. State prosecutor advocate George Baloyi had also said that the National Prosecuting Authority empowered the NDPP to transfer a case from one jurisdiction to another. It is deemed in the interest of administration of justice. Then in terms of the Superior Courts Act, there is one Gauteng division with its main seat in Pretoria. Section 21 of 1 provides that a division has jurisdiction over all persons residing or being in or in relation to all causes arising and all offenses triable within its area of jurisdiction. Baloyi also submitted.
I think the issue here is not just jurisdiction that we have to look at. It is an issue of two dockets that were submitted in two different courts. That is where I think Defo is crying about, to say that for you to postpone because of this docket that has a jurisdiction of is it not Gauteng?
Yes.
It is unreasonable.
It is unreasonable.
I cannot wait for that. Because those are two now different cases. I'm defending people who are here as accused and they are detained. While the people that now you want to go read and peruse whatever that you need to peruse, they are sitting at home. Some of them, they are not even going to come and testify. Please read the comments.
Hubert says, I'm not surprised the judge is harsh on Advocate Tifo. That's why the case was shifted from South Gauteng and brought to him to complete their plan. Nan Pinky says, this is a disaster, exposing how corrupt is our country. God help us. Koleka says, what I like about Tifo is that he fights for what he knows is right up until he understands what he's saying. Minentle says the judge is very undermining towards Advovo. Siyabonga.
Tefololo.
Tefololo. Siyabonga says the judge is old because Musia admitted the scene was compromised. Ongati utengiwe lo judge because Tifo is thinking out loud with the facts. Why doesn't the judge doesn't get to the bottom of this? Siyabonga says the judge is too old or tengiwe. Mpume says I hate that he's rude to Tifo. Shazi says Kanti, what is the judge drinking every day? Because it seems like it's clouding his listening skills.
It's probably diluted waters with sugar and milk and water itself. That would be my submission. I think that's how he explained it.
Your worship. Sibusiso says, yes, indeed, judge is tired and not flexible to handle this pressure from ever active advocates. TR says, Injani ke lo Mr. Mysterious. I know. Kolega says, Shazi. He said, okay, I don't know what is being said. TR, flabbergasted by this, even me here. We are flabbergasted, TR Mangena.
I mean, it is very disturbing.
Mpo says, this Baloi guy is living up to his
No, guys. What do you know about Maloi? But it's fine. Don't read what is explained about Maloi.
Hubert says this is no longer about law, but just taking instructions from a hidden mafia.
Guys, continue.
Siyabonga says Baloi said nudes in court. Okay,
Done.
I don't understand.
Done.
Okay, I don't understand. Mpume says Mshololo is a joke. Serious Tifo after David admitted, let's all be here. I suspect the dead of Ndlovu. Okay, I just want to say hi to Nolutando, my girlfriend from Jongi. Okay, Jongi. Jongi is saying hi to her girlfriend Nolutando.
Who? Nolutando. Nolutando, you are being called.
Nolutando, uyabingelelwa Nolutando.
Hello, Nolutando.
Hi, Nolutando.
I think that's something that is going to cheer us up.
Yeah. Mtandazo Mhluzi says, unforeseen circumstances. Andiyahleka yu hayi kunzima. Matabate says, if need be, it is not supposed to be Senzo's family to release documentary about him. Well, Netflix has already done that, so it's not even about him. It's about how he transitioned.
No, we are not condoning the second one that might come of Netflix. I think this one was enough.
I think that was enough.
The one of millions allegedly, I think that one is now diluted, and we are not interested in that one.
Minentle says our head girl Mshololo sengathi wenzela nje ukubukwa akaba cabangeli umndeni kaMeyiwa yini le ayifunda i3 months yonke.
It's for exam.
Carol says, Admin Hlophe, I agree with you, dear. She's being used to delay these proceedings. Pesihle says, Tifo must control his emotions as well, even if he feels the judge is against him. But if they say he must wait for his time, then he must wait instead of arguing with the judge.
But that's how you get clobbered in court of law. They clobber you with certain rules. It's like this thing of
but
trying to
the problem
argue.
here, specifically, is that Advocate Tifo was raising this from the very beginning, and they were telling him to sit down.
Yes,
and
so
he did exactly that.
He was controlling the feelings at the time. Look at where it got him to.
It got us
the
to
case
this
is paused
now
because of what he raised long time ago.
Julia Tebele says, good evening. I feel the same way Oscar feels. It's frustrating, but now Advocate Malisela Tefo has been turned into a scapegoat because no one wanna approve case 375. Poor family had their hopes crushed. Koleka says, asinga lahli ithemba zihlobo mase kuzosa kuba mnyama kakhulu Tefo all the way #justice for Senzo. Yeah, mase kuzosa vele kuba mnyama. Pho says ngathwala ngaye.
It's a song. Okay, next.
Mumi says this judge of hydroperoxide is functioning with Advocate Tefo to make him lose his temper so that the nation could lose trust in Advocate Tefo. God's intervention is what we ask for. Saint says, good evening, guys. Good evening, Saint.
How far are you? I see Thomas Lucas Pinga. Jurisdiction is in
jurisdiction, guys.
Just a jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction.
Yeah,
Jurisdiction.
it's done.
Okay.
You just swallow something somewhere. I missed the here live. Z Bonambi. Yeah, continue there.
Zed Mbonambi says, I missed your live. No notification for me, but I'm catching you here, guys. This case will not go anywhere. Wondering who are they all trying to protect? This country is so lost. Naledi, this case is draining. Zanele says, hi, Sana. Zange ndaqakwa yinto enjena, guys. Asba, we will be able to know the truth about this case now. Into shem, but maybe one day iqiniso liyovela and essay law it's just a joke and disgusting.
Guys, good night. Nah, I'm
having chest pains. I'm so sorry. You hope you feel better in the morning when you wake up.
Next
Kaifas Nkuna, if they're doing this to Senzo, what will happen to the farm?
game.
Tuli Tools Advocate Tefo is exposing them one by one. Now we know Advocate Bathoy signed that paper on Sunday. What's next?
That's all we can get now. We get the facts. Get the facts correct. Guys, please subscribe and like the video if you haven't liked
I'm
it.
out, guys. I'm worn out. I'm worn out. I'm emotionally drained. Today did not go according to plan.
Yeah. Today was not right. It was not right, guys. But tomorrow I have a hope. But tomorrow
we
I have
will
hope.
Pray. Let us all pray for this path.
Yeah.
Let's pray also for the poor suspects. Okay.
Yeah, guys.
Otherwise, they're gonna sit in jail until October.
Yeah, guys. And then they come back with that thing after sitting in jail for that long period. And then they come back and say, yeah, I agree that this thing is useless.
This docket is not.
Imagine the pain. Read the last one, please. Wow, I'm sorry I was late. In my opinion, I think that there is chemistry between Judge and Mshololo cause Sibabulai Samoy. Saint song. Can someone lend me a hair? What? A
hair remover. We need a new judge without an afro.
No, maybe we need that hat, that white hat that they use in Nigeria to take this thing serious. Therefore, for needs to borrow that thing and get into that judge. Why don't we have a jury in this case?
In South Africa, we don't use the jury system.
This is where we need a jury. This is a court of public opinion is important.
But South Africa, knowing South Africa, they'll bribe them all. Knowing South Africa, guys,
he'll bribe all of them.
All of them will have a price tag, a brown envelope.
No, we get them cool. They listen to this case sitting there, and then.
Bese bathi 3 million cool.
You need to be reminded that day that you're about to meet your maker, and remember that it's important to do right by you. Maybe blackmail you in a certain way, some sort. Because I mean, honestly, I don't think this case should be listened to by one person.
Yeah.
I think
For now, how
this
about
is a classic example
Yeah.
of how our law is, and how is it gonna be hard for all of us to actually argue against the points that at some point were raised by the former president in saying that everything could be wrong. But in any case, well, I hope that something happens to me. Someone somewhere would be able to fight like Tefo.
Yeah, we are grateful for Abantu Abafana Notifo and Patricia Mashel and even Ngobile, the sister that was doing that interview. We are really
Can you imagine how brave she must be to
She's
actually
very
do
brave.
under the circumstances?
She's very brave, and God protect her at all times, because there's only a few people that are honest that are left in this country.
Guys, please press that like and subscribe, guys. Until next time, because there's no caller, I'm closing the course.
Okay, guys, until the next one, bye. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Don't forget to like the video if you like this type of content, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel, as well as share the video if you can.
Until tomorrow, if there's something tomorrow that is there, we will let you know, guys. Bye.
Bye. You.